Hello, Halo fans. I'm back with one more video for this week. Going to be doing some Halo 5 power rankings. And this is just for the North American teams. I don't really know enough about the European teams to compile a list for how they rank up against everyone else. But I'm making this list based off a combination of preseason tournament performances, like the Go for Halo Cups, the Game Battles breakout tournaments, PGL stuff, UMG stuff, just all of those combined into one like category. Scrim performances, which we don't see every scrim that happens, but we get a good list on Team Beyond forums of who's playing who and how they're. We usually have a good list of the links or the game links with the stats to see how everyone's been stacking up in their scrims. And then a little bit of my own opinion and speculation for how things are going to shake up when there's more information out there. But to that, I don't put a lot of weight in that one, but it is affecting the rankings just a little bit. But with that, let's move on to the first slide, which I'm only I've only got really the top 6 solidified in my head, so this next slide is going to be a lot of teams just in a vague category with no particular order. These are the cusp teams, the ones that I don't think right now are inside the top 6. And I've got them divided into 2 tiers. A tier, where they have a good chance of finishing top 8, and if they don't finish top 8, they're probably going to fill in the top 12, depending on who they match and or depending on like who they match up against. And then B tier, which these are going to be the teams they might rank up to top 12. They're probably going to fall to like 13 to 16. They might finish 19 to 20 or 17 to 24. It really just depends on how they're playing on a given day. But with the A tier teams, we've got CLG. They've been struggling in scrims a little bit. They haven't really been playing together in tournaments. They're just not meshing very well, and right now I think there's a chemistry issue in terms of play styles between what Ogre 2 needs to do to succeed as a player and what they end up doing with Royal 2. So I think that's holding them back a little bit. Then we've got Winter Fox. I think Winter Fox is better than their performance shows, and if Radar ever gets taken out, they'll shoot up quite a bit because of Ryan's playstyle. Radar kind of hurts him as a player. But I think part of it is they're playing a little bit too slow right now to keep up with the other teams that have just like jumped into the game and like gone ham. Velocity, that may be a surprise to see their team name in my list of top 8 or top 12 teams. They are just grinding really hard. They've been doing really well in the online tournaments. It's Posey, um, Juicy Fruit, Tire Iron, and Eccentric. They Most of them are really high ranked in arena. They just grind constantly, so they're definitely a team to look out for to just surprise everyone that isn't prepared or hasn't watched this video ahead of seeing the ladder and such. They're a team that have plenty of time on their hands, plenty of room to move up, and I think they will. I have Vex on here. I don't know if they have a fourth yet. Vex were Fatal Ambition at the Daytona tournament. It was Blaze, Burton, Calm Mentality, and Elitist. Elitist isn't playing for them anymore. He got himself a big boy job, but I think they're going to do really well. Blaze is one of the best players to touch Halo. He's just never stuck with it enough. Like, he was on the team that took down the God Squad in Halo Reach, so they're definitely a team that you've got to keep your eye on. And then I have Optic on there. I know they haven't been practicing. They haven't really come together yet. They're still sorting out their roster. But these players aren't going to just like disappear from the top of the Halo team. They know how to win. They know how to play. They don't look good against top teams, but when you put them against amateur teams, they're going to just continue to show why they're pros and the amateur teams are not. I think it's going to be Flame Sword, Maniac, Ares, and Assault. Not positive on that. I put them on there based off that predicted roster. I think they'll be like edge of top 8 or bottom of top 12. For the B tier teams, these these are teams that uh, they've got talent to some degree, but they're just not going to be able to compete with the teams above them. Noble, it's got Contra, so he's going to be doing really well, but the other players on his team I have no idea about, so I don't really have any faith that they're going to fight upwards very well. Isolation has Gabriel, Swiftkill, Nemesis. I think these players are like consistent cusp players. Gabriel's really talented player, doesn't make the best decisions in game. Swiftkill, uh, just a good overall player, but not great. Excellence, I'm not positive what their roster is right now. The last we saw, it was Kobe, Anarchy, Lifestyle, and Sargoth, but they all announced recently they're free agents, and Sargoth is the last one on the team. I saw them playing with Winter, Tragic, and Pre-Devinator, and when I was asked at one point earlier this season who I thought the big up-and-comers were going to be, Pre-Devinator was like one of the ones at the top of my list behind Spartan, Randa, all the ones that were nominated for best up and comer last season. I put Devinator on that list with them. I think he's super talented. He hasn't really gotten the team chances that he's really needed. I think he's going to be a breakout player in Halo 5 if he sticks with it. So if Devin is actually on Excellence, they could belong in A tier. And then I've got Reality Check on there. They haven't been doing well in any way, shape, or form. They did manage to win the rig strongholds against Envy twice, but uh, it's a really straightforward game type. So, and based off how they played the game type, they were actually playing it wrong, and Envy was just managing to lose anyway. So it was a little bit of shakiness on Envy's side, and not really reality check outplaying them on that. I think they were seriously just approaching the game type incorrectly. So that's the teams I think will round out the top 16. But with that, I'm going to move on to the top 6, starting with number 6, the team formerly known as Cloud9. See, I've got the Prince logo in there and Cloud9. This is Hysteria, Victory X, Fear Itself. Frosty has been playing with them, but he's not currently actually on that roster. Because for all official points, he's still signed to Elevate. So technically, Frosty is still on Elevate. He's not with that roster. I'm ranking them based off playing with Frosty. Like if they manage to sign him, then I think they'll be in the 6th place spot. They did fairly well against Evil Geniuses last night. They got dominated in some game types. They put up good fights in others. They managed to beat Evil Geniuses in Regret Slayer, which is a game type I think EG were actually playing extremely well. So it shows that they do have a good concept of some game types. Overall, I think they're a pretty good team. They're above the A tier teams, but they may not finish top 6 consistently. They may drop to top 8. That's what I have for the Cloud9 guys. Moving on to number 5, we've got Allegiance. This is Nated, Goofy, Straight Sick, and L-Town. They've been showing up really well in scrims. I haven't seen them actually playing in any of the online tournaments. I may have just missed it, but based off their scrim performance, they've been doing fairly well. I think they'll trend downwards once other teams start practicing or settle their rosters a little bit more. So I think 5th is the highest you'll actually see this team at any point this season. And that's about all I have to say about Allegiance. So move on to number 4, which this one may surprise people. It's not a team name you'd expect to see in a top 4. This is Elevate, Randa, Munoz, Suspector, and they've been playing with Stellar as their 4th. Again, technically, Frosty is still the 4th. He's still under contract with Elevate, as far as I have heard. But I'm making this post based off how they've been performing with Stellar as their fourth. Stellar is uh, a kid that has just come out of nowhere. Excuse me. Uh, he's a Slayer type player. He and Suspector have been handling slaying, while Randa and Munoz just kind of sacrifice themselves and do the dirty work to win the games. And this roster is just meshed really well in practices and online tournaments. And I've really liked what I've seen out of them. Uh, their scrim performances, they managed to win one scrim against Evil Geniuses, and then the next time EG just obliterated them. They all kind of stopped trying after they lost a breakout game, and it looked downhill from there. So this may be a team that's prone to tilting, but from what we've seen so far, Elevate are a really talented squad, and I love Munoz. I think he's the hardest working player in Halo. So I really hope they live up to this power ranking that I've given them so far. If they don't, it won't surprise me too much. Like, the other teams below them have room to move up and get better as they practice more. But as it stands right now, Elevate are grinding hard. They're kind of in a situation like Velocity, where people aren't really giving them the respect they deserve, so they're kind of overperforming. But as much time as they've put in, they really have earned this ranking so far. And with that, let's move on to number 3. We've got EnVyUs at number 3. This is Miquin, Hines, APG, and Pistola. And if I put this entirely on speculation, they would be either number 2 or number 1, but they haven't been playing together that much, partially due to Hines's internet issues, partially due to some other issues going on. But other than that, they've looked okay when they've played together, and I'm really overrating them right now based entirely off the speculation stat. They haven't shown any tournament performances. Elevate should actually be ranked ahead of them based off just the preseason stuff, but I think that roster is one of the 2 best that was put together. And like how they performed as Denial before replacing Chig with Pistola is not to be overlooked. And I think they will probably be better than this once they actually play together more. But for now, EnVyUs is number 3. And we're going to move on to number 2. This one's where it's going to get dicey. Some of you may just turn off the video and be like, what the fuck is this guy thinking? But right now, at number 2, I have Evil Geniuses. They are not the best team in Halo 5 right now. Like, it, because I'm including tournament performances and EG hasn't played in that many tournaments, right now they are not the best team in the game. They're still a completely dominant team. They're dominating scrims. They're playing together really well. They're all taking really good approaches to getting better. And like, it's still Evil Geniuses. They're still the team that won HCS tournament after HCS tournament. They're probably going to move back up to number 1. But for right now, number 1 in Halo is Team Liquid. They've won every single tournament, asterisk. The asterisk being the one where they lost a game of Breakout, and then that team that they lost to got disqualified, so they moved on to the finals, and then they won the finals. But other than that, they've been winning every single tournament. They've been doing really well in scrims. They're a little scattered to the wind right now, but even with Ninja taking the day off yesterday and Chig driving across country, Ace and Unlegit teamed with Lethal and Frosty for the Go for Halo Cup, and they've won. So even the remnants of Liquid are managing to win tournaments when it's not the full roster. So I'm really liking how Liquid is looking. I think when everything settles, they'll be probably 3rd. But for right now, Liquid are the best team in Halo 5. And so that makes our top 6, the formerly Cloud9 guys: Allegiance, Elevate, EnVyUs, Evil Geniuses, and Team Liquid. And so that just about wraps up the video. Why do I have a $1.7 million? How did that get in there? Anyway, that wraps up the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you weigh in with your own comments about how you think the power rankings will shake out. If you do weigh in, remember this is just preseason. We haven't seen these teams actually put the pedal to the metal yet. All of this is subject to change once teams really start taking the competition seriously. But for right now, this is how I perceive it. It's just an opinion. You're free to disagree. And that is my video for now. See you guys later.